Are the defence calling any witnesses in this pre-trial hearing?
I want to bring my first witness, Eltra Parker.
Yes, thank you. And we have Eltra Parker here. Could Eltra Parker be sworn in, please?
Heather Parker, stand up, please. And raise your right hand. Do you promise that the testimony you shall give in the case before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
You may sit down, please. You may proceed.
Good morning, Ms. Eltra Parker. Could you please introduce yourself?
My name is Eltra Parker, and I am 29 years old. I work part-time as a delivery driver for BTP, and I'm also a chemical engineering student.
Now, turning to the court's attention towards March 1st, 2021, Ms. Eltra, what happened during the morning of March 1st?
It was my third delivery run on that morning, and I was driving along Pacific Avenue. Then I noticed that I was pulled over for a traffic stop by a police officer, and that was Officer Strait. Officer Strait was crouching up and down to look throughout the car, and she then asked me for my identification, so I handed over my driver's license.
What did you do at that moment?
I was nervous, so I started to fiddle with my watch and pocket. That was where I kept my stress ball.
What happened after you handed over your driver's license?
I asked Officer Strait that, "Officer, is everything okay?" But she didn't answer me. She ignored my question. Then she told me and Jane to get out of the car in a very serious tone without explaining to me about this situation.
What did you respond to when Officer Strait was required to conduct the free search?
I couldn't let anyone to touch my body in this disconcerting situation. I felt uncomfortable, so I refused the search, and I told her that she shouldn't have the right to do this.
What did you do after that incident?
Then I reached for my stress ball to calm myself down for the above reasons, but I stopped when Officer Strait instructed me to. I told her clearly that it was just a stress ball and it was visible to her.
How did Officer Strait respond?
She then grabbed me and accused me that I was concealing a weapon. Then she began conducting the freak search.
Ms. Parker, please tell the court, how did the search process work?
Officer Strait pushed me against my car and then conducted a pat-down search from my shoulder to the bottom of my legs. While conducting the search, she found the stress ball in my pants and then immediately reached in the front right pocket of my jacket and pulled out a small electronic scale.
What do you use that small electric scale for?
I've been carrying it for my chemical engineering studies. They are necessary for chemical engineering students like me. We usually have to do lab work and require precision measurements of different chemicals.
Who loaded the packages into the car in that morning?
It is usual that when I am meeting with my boss on the morning before making deliveries, another employee loaded the crate of packages into the car.
What happened after Officer Strait found the electric scale?
I had been told by Officer Strait that they would release me immediately if I didn't hide any dangerous weapon. Then she conducted the freak search without my consent, and then she continued to search my front pocket. After that, she didn't stop and continued to search my car. After all this search, she said I was under arrest and took me to the police station.
So how did the first interrogation in the police station go?
As soon as I was interrogated, they said they believed that I was engaged in dealings and smuggling drugs, and they asked me to cooperate with them. At the time, I was willing to cooperate, but I had no idea about any interrogation. I didn't know how the questioning process works, so I explained to them that I was actually confused about the line of questioning, that they didn't accept my explanation and kept asking me the same questions as if I had done something really wrong.
What did Officer Stray tell you in the next interview?
She explained that the police were investigating PDB and that they needed my help to do that.
Oh, so how did you respond to that Officer Stray's offer?
I was so confused when they told me about that. I told Officer Stray that I was only a driver and I didn't know anything what they were talking about.
So how did you answer Officer Momo's question? Oh,
Officer Momo,
yeah.
Officer Momo, I had already repeated many times that I was just a driver, and it is usually not my job to inspect the contents of every package I deliver.
How did the interrogation conducted by Officer Momo happen?
She accused me of dealing drugs and even threatened that they would persecute me. And she said she will set me away for a long time. And they asked the same question countless times, as if I was expected to give them a specific answer.
How did you feel after interrogations like that?
I felt really distressed because I was being asked so many questions. By the time I was pulled over at the checkpoint, I gave them the answer from the beginning, but they kept ignoring it and asking the same question repeatedly. I was so scared, exhausted, and I couldn't believe what was happening and what was going to happen later, so I couldn't help but cry.
What happened in your cell room?
I have a habit of fiddling with my clothes when I get nervous. That is why I always carry a calm myself down. But at the time, I didn't have my stress ball, so I remember to play with the zipper on my jacket. But I never put my hands into the pocket, into my pants.
What did you do? Officer Momo told you to remove your clothes.
Officer Momo didn't say the reason. Besides, at the time, I was really distressed. So I asked for someone else who was experienced with LGBT like transgender could do it instead. But she just ignored my request and kept telling me to remove my clothes.
After the search, how were you affected?
After the search, of course, I was very embarrassed and upset at the same time. I wanted to get out of the station as soon as possible.
Could you please tell us how the final interrogation go?
Then I was taken to the interview again for questioning. I found this very distressing because Officer Momo had obviously invaded my privacy, and I had already told them that I knew nothing. I felt dizzy and exhausted after hours of questioning and didn't have the capacity to understand what they were saying anymore.
Why did you admit?
That is because, as I said earlier, I lost track of their line of questioning because I felt dizzy and exhausted, and I answered yes without having an intention to say so. I immediately took back this statement, but the police officer said they finally got me.
How long have you been interrogated?
As I said, I was detained for nearly 8 hours, and I believe I was being questioned for at least half of the time that I was kept at the station.
What was the incident during the interrogation?
I was being asked questions from the very beginning at the checkpoint. The way they treated me was so bad. I can tell that because I got ignored every time I explained something or asked for something. Besides, there were very limited opportunities for a break other than the street search, and I consider that such was not even a break for me.
Thank you. That would be all, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you for that. Prosecution, do we have any cross-examination of witness Eltra Parker?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to have cross-examination questions with Eltra Parker.
Yes, thank you.
Good morning, Eltra Parker. First question will be related to the freak search. On March 1st, 2021, were you on the delivery run? Is that correct?
Yes.
Before the delivery, you had information of
Yes.
all the packages on that day, correct?
Only the list. So yes.
Please answer with only yes and no. Thank you. Next question. When Sandy Officer Strait stopped your car at the checkpoint, you were nervous, correct?
Yes.
When you were told that there was going to be a search, you became very upset, correct?
No, that is not.
You have been informed that after the search, you can continue your delivery if you do not hide any dangerous thing, correct?
Yes, correct.
Eltra Parker, you have something inside your pocket, correct?
That was a stress ball. So yes.
Please answer with only yes and no. Thank you. At that time, you were searching for something inside of it, correct?
Yes.
Then, Sandy Officer Strait found an electronic scale inside the front pocket of your jacket, correct?
Yes, correct.
And after that, the police started to search your car, correct?
Yes.
And Sandy Officer Strait later arrest you for drug possession, correct?
Yes, that is right.
At the interrogation room, did the police officer conduct an interrogation with you?
Yes.
Okay, now we move to the issue number 3, the strip search. You did not answer the questions, correct?
I did answer the question. That is only I didn't know anything about what they were asking, and I did answer that. So no.
So your answer is, so what is your answer?
My answer is I did answer that. I did answer the question.
So your answer is yes.
Yes.
Eltra Parker, by the time you were taken back to the cell, you were very nervous, correct?
Yes.
And at that time, you really want to get out of the police station as quickly as possible, correct?
Yes, correct.
You were zipping your jacket repeatedly in the cell, correct?
Yes.
And then Officer Momo conducted a search on you, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And Officer Momo found a follow-up note on the waistband, is that correct?
I'm not quite sure about that.
So your question is yes or no?
The
No.
witness said that she was not sure. Counsel, you are not in charge of making this witness say X or Y. Okay. If the witness is unsure about the answer, then the witness is entitled to say, I don't know. Okay. So just watch the direction of the witness, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I will continue my cross-examination questions. And after the search, Officer Momo let you rest in few hours in the holding cell, correct?
No, that is not correct.
Okay, now we move to issue number 4. Eltra Parker, the police officer informed you that the white powder was 750 grams of cocaine. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you were answered yes when the police asked about the existence of the white powder. Is that correct?
I answered yes accidentally without any intention. So, yes.
Do you know exactly the time of the detention?
Yes.
Thank you, Eltra Parker. That will be all for cross-examination. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Prosecutor. Is there any re-examination for Eltra Parker from the defence?
Yes, Ms. Ultrapaga, why were you nervous when you were returned to your holding cell? Why were you nervous?
Yes, can you repeat the question, please?
When you were returned to your cell room, why were you nervous?
Yeah. I could say that because I was really distressed and tired, exhausted, and nervous because I was being asked the same question again and again, and I was then multiple searches like strip search, freak search and search of the car, and I didn't know anything about the situation, what was happening. So. Yes.
So, yeah, that would be all, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you for that. Ultrapaga, you're now excused as a witness from giving evidence.